We're all gonna get heartbroken over and over again. We're all gonna deal with failures all over again, but it's how we think about those moments in that moment. So I've kind of trained my brain to allow myself to be upset when I'm heartbroken, allow myself to feel failure, but not be down in the dumps about it for too long. Not be like, oh, well, I'm worthless, or oh, well, this is just how it's meant to be and the world's against me. Getting hurt efficiently means we're hurt. How can we efficiently learn a lesson in this moment? What could I have done differently? What could I have expected differently? How could I have reacted differently? So that the next time you will be heartbroken, which you will be, it's inevitable, you're better equipped to deal with it. I learned how to be happy because I know what unhappiness felt like. And I was able to dissect all the reasons I was unhappy, you know? All the reasons, one of them, blindly following my sister, doing what she was doing, listening to everyone else except myself, not paying attention to all the signs my mind and body were giving me saying we're not doing the right thing. And I think having so much experience in that dark phase really helps you become better, because how can you become better if you don't know what the worst version of yourself is? Your self-worth has to come from not only yourself, but your environment. I'm really big on your physical, spiritual, and even the people around you are really important. So when I went through a lot of failures, it was hard to dig myself out when it was me alone in my bedroom and my parents were downstairs. Not because my parents are bad, my parents are lovely, but they had no idea about the world I was in or what I was going through. When I'm with my team and my friends that are kind of not only supportive, but can really relate to what you're going through, and it's really helpful. So how do you dig out of that? Obviously, you gotta love yourself. That might be hard. Surround yourself with good people and a good environment. I think a big part of finding out what's right for you is stop confining yourself to a path that you've been convinced is the path. What I'm doing right now is nowhere on the path for a young Indian girl that's a part of my family. Like, this is nowhere on the path. It was very much so, go to school and get married and have kids, and that's a success. If you're able to have those kids and give my mom some grandkids, you're successful. And I think it's about really stepping outside of that and exploring, whether that's in school and taking classes that you might not take at first glance, whether it's going and experiencing different types of arts, meeting different types of people, making new friends. I think there's so much out there that you don't even know exists. And I'm a testament to that. I make videos on the internet. Ask my mom if she thought that could have been a job when she was growing up. When you start to get surrounded by people, and my team is a great example of this, that really bring out the best in you, and you feel yourself growing and learning, and maybe you're a little more patient or a little more creative, or you think about things a little differently. Any type of evolution like that, I think, is definitely signs you're doing the right thing. You know, this entire career path has been everything but comfortable. No part of it's comfortable. So even on the days when I come home and I think, that was horrible, that audition was horrible, I can literally feel part of me evolving as like, okay, but you did it, and now you know for the next one what to do. You'll know what to expect for the next one. And those scary things are all signs that you're doing the right thing. And so in that little funk, I discovered YouTube. So it's kind of like the stars aligning perfectly. And I posted a first video really spontaneously. It was a spoken word piece about religion. It was very, very, very bad, and it got 70 views. And I think I just fell in love with having a goal during that downtime and learning something new, something I wasn't trained at. Like, there was no fairy tale scenario where I went up to my parents and said, I want to do this, la la la, let me do this, I'm gonna go do this now. They were like, come back here. You have a year to do this. And they literally told me, if you don't get anywhere in a year, you're going to go to grad school. So I had a timeline on my success where I needed to prove in a year I could make something happen in the entertainment industry. Gratefully, that worked out, but not easily. All they wanted to know was my daughter's gonna be okay, she's gonna be able to sustain herself, and she's not gonna be on the streets, quite bluntly. That's what they wanted. And so I had to prove it. I had to take them to my shows. They saw me perform. I had to, look, here's a check. I got a check. I bought this thing. I bought a camera. I bought this with money. And I had to prove to them that this could become something. Because listen, a lot of our parents, especially mine that are from a different time and place, it's not that they want you to be unhappy. They just don't get it. You know, my mom grew up in a time when, like I said, making videos on the internet, she didn't have the internet. There wasn't even that option. It was literally like, you're gonna be a teacher, a doctor, or a lawyer. Like, that's what we know, and that's all. So they weren't telling me to go to school because they hate me. They were telling me to go to school because they were like, that's what you have to do. What else is there to do? And I had to teach them. Being an entrepreneur is stressful, and it does take a toll on your body, your mind, and your health. And so something I believe to be equally as productive as work is meditation and taking some time to recover. I have something called Rejuvenation Sunday. I mean, it's in my calendar. It prompts up sometimes on that Sunday. I'm like, knee deep in work, but it's in my calendar and it goes off every Sunday. I think taking those times to actually consolidate those lessons and resetting yourself is very, very important, because at the end of the day, we are beings that get tired and we wear down, and I think that's important. But making the most out of stepping out of your comfort zone, I have this thing where I like to visualize things. I know, because it's easy to talk about all of these things and then talk about Tumblr quotes and like, oh, cool, success. But when you're actually down to it, it's hard. It's hard walking into an audition, for example, and then doing really badly and going home and thinking like, oh, well, I stepped out of my comfort zone, so I should be happy. That's not a practical thing that's gonna happen. You're gonna go home, you're gonna be sad, you're gonna eat the ice cream. I've done it. I've done it all the time. But I think visualizing like, okay, this is me, this is my goal. And I literally do this with my hands every time I have a failure. This is me, this is the goal. There is nothing in between there. I need to create what it is in between there. Whether I do really well or really bad, that's gonna be a step. And I think visualizing every failure as a little stone towards where you need to go is really helpful. I do so many things in a day. And people are like, how? How do you do this? Like, what is the trick? It's because I really love what I do and I'm really passionate about what I do. I think one of the signs my body and mind were giving me before is that I would get lazy really quickly. I would get tired really, really quickly. I would cut corners and come up with little justifications as to why that was okay. Like, I would be studying for my psych stuff and being like, oh, well, like, you know, is this section really important? Probably not, you know, we'll just skim this over. I don't do that with what I'm doing right now. I'm really thorough, and I think that's a sign of doing the right thing. Of course, if I'm real, we don't always have that luxury. You know, we don't have the luxury of doing what we want to do all the time. So it's important to kind of pay your dues in that way. The first video I made sucked. It's totally sucked. My body wasn't like, this is the right thing to do. You know, I had to pay my dues and get better at it. But I think you shouldn't just not try because you have to pay your dues. You have to be obsessed, and I know the word obsessed has a negative connotation, and rightfully it should a little bit. I think anyone who's really great at something is because they're obsessed. They wake up and they're thinking about it, and throughout their day they're thinking about it, and when they sleep they're thinking about it. In the middle of the night they might wake up thinking about it. That is me with this. Video ideas, I wake up in the middle of the night and I have to wake up and jot something down. Some of my video ideas are little dreams I've had, so I'm like working in my sleep. There is a level of obsession, and when I say that, usually people say, well, that's not really that healthy. And you're right, some of it is a little unhealthy. Sometimes it does take over my life. Sometimes I do have to draw the line and I say, nope, I need to go meditate in my room, I can't do this. But I don't know of a single successful person that didn't, for at least a little period of time, have that obsession over being successful. If you want to achieve something at such a level, like, it costs a price. Because I do fear right now, with all the cute Tumblr quotes and all the, you know, the idea that you're special and you're worth it. Everyone's special and you are worth it, but you need to work for it. Like, it's not gonna, a Tumblr quote of you believing in yourself is not gonna get you success. So I also do fear that the opposite of that is letting kids know, like, yeah, get your sleep and get this and just believe in yourself and you're special and you'll get it done. Like, is that really gonna get them success though? It's that in combination with a lot of hard work. And I think that latter part is never told in a very straightforward, accurate way. I know what it feels like to wake up and just aimlessly be like, I guess I'm gonna go through the motions of my day, and maybe I'll talk to this person, I'll eat these Fruit Loops, cool, I'll do whatever I need to do. Waking up with my obsession is honestly exciting. I get to wake up and I get to make rules and break rules. When you have an obsession, no matter what industry you're in, you get into that mindset where you're like, what else could I do to innovate this? What could I do differently? What could I do that's never been done before? So every day you really feel like you're adding value to the world and adding value to the people around you. That's the beautiful part of obsession. My obsession has led me to 13 million subscribers that watch me and also gain inspiration from what I do. And, you know, I'm hoping the people that surround me every day are also inspired by some of the stuff we do. So it's the chain reaction you cause, you know, that purpose, and you give other people purpose, and now they're gonna give someone else purpose. So it's just, you lose a little sleep, but look at the result. It's a small cost to pay, I feel. A lot of what I would like to do, I believe I'm doing, is encouraging the hustle. It's like, I'm doing all this funny stuff. It's not, a 10-minute video doesn't take 10 minutes. You know, it takes a village and it takes a lot of time. And you're absolutely right, I do that in my vlogs and my main channel videos. I'm not shy to let people know how much work this takes. I think that's what makes what I do so special. Because back in the day, traditional, for lack of a better word, celebrities, they were perfect. They were always on and always flawless. I would like to show people a person who works really tired, works really long hours, gets really tired, gets pimples, and like, that's what it takes to do what I'm doing. You know, it's not just that I show up and everything's glamorous and that I reap all the benefits. That's not what it is. That's not what it is for anybody, but it's not. It's a lot of work. So if you're watching this and you're like, let me dissect this interview, like what are the tips and tricks? There's no tips and tricks, there's just a lot of work. It's a lot of work. It's a lot of focused work, and that's the biggest message I can drive home, is that of course there's practices and things you can do, but you need to stop making excuses, you need to put your head down, and you need to make a plan, and then you need to execute the plan.